The man put a mouse into a jar filled with liquid. Soon the mouse stopped breathing due to lack of oxygen. His colleagues thought it was a cruel experiment, but 5 minutes later the mouse miraculously came back to life. It turned out that this liquid was a new oxygen-producing material. It could provide divers with a large amount of oxygen. After the experiment succeeded, the scientists decided to let a diver test it personally. After Eddie put on the specially designed diving suit, the liquid began flowing into his helmet. When the liquid completely covered his face, Eddie's body began to feel uncomfortable. He began to struggle violently, but 5 minutes later, he seemed to adapt to this way of breathing. Next, they were going to conduct a deep dive test. The researchers lowered Eddie into the water. Under everyone's watch, Eddie began descending toward the seafloor. As he went deeper and deeper, Eddie began to feel afraid. Even worse, the immense water pressure caused his light to fail. His teammates on shore tried to contact him to stop the experiment, but the enormous pressure made it impossible for him to respond. Soon, Eddie reached 10,000 feet below the surface. That was the limit of human diving depth, but he only had enough oxygen for 5 more minutes of breathing. His wife called out desperately to Eddie from the shore, but Eddie knew that only death awaited him, so he used all his remaining strength to send her one last message. Just when everyone thought Eddie was going to die, a glowing jellyfish suddenly appeared in front of him. Inside the jellyfish, there seemed to be an alien. The next second, the jellyfish took Eddie's hand and led him toward the alien base. It was a mysterious spacecraft, but he didn't know that he had already fallen into the alien's trap.